Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ryan Hayes, and today we're going to talk about mental health. The reason for this is about a month and a half ago when I started the channel, I promised that I would try to do a weekly upload, and we all know that didn't work out. Depression kind of came out of nowhere and kicked my ass, and I haven't been able to get a video up at all. With that in mind, I know that for a lot of people, depression is kind of vague and ill-defined, but for the people that have depression, they're less worried about defining it, more worried about dealing with it. So that's what I'm going to start with today, is how you deal with depression. I'm not by any means a therapist. I'm not a professional. This is just what I've figured out for myself over the years, and I'm really hoping that you can take some good guidance from it, and if not, skip to the end. So the first thing about depression is to know the signs. With depression, it can really creep up on you. It can start out with you feeling maybe a little tired, or maybe a little down on yourself, like nothing seems to be going right and you don't really see the point in trying harder to make them right. That's a pretty major sign for people with depression. Another thing is when you have like a hobby or an interest or a career that you're really into, but suddenly for no reason that you can really think of, it stops being interesting and you stop having the energy for it. That's a pretty big sign that you're entering a depressive phase. I say depressive phase because for a lot of people with depression, it comes in cycles. It comes in ups and downs. For me in particular, I was diagnosed with severe persistent depression, and I still have down phases where like I have this like baseline of I am depressed for pretty much all of my life, but it's a depression that I can manage. It's kind of a down that I can manage. But then there are phases where I just go straight down and can't seem to bring myself back up, and I have to wait out those phases. So really it's a matter of paying attention to how much energy you have, and the general thought process when it starts turning negative, when it starts becoming I can't do this, or somebody doesn't want me to do this because I'm not as good, those are all signs of a depressive downturn. So moving into step number 2, or tip number 2, try drinking water. And I know that health nuts everywhere are saying, well, if you have a problem, drink some water. The thing is that water dehydration can actually cause a lot of the signs of depression. So you can get dehydrated and your energy can plummet. You can get dehydrated and just your general thought process can get interrupted and take a downturn. You can get surly. You can get angry, largely because you haven't had enough water. And without it, all of that process is going to be interrupted, and you're not going to have any method by which you can actually have a balanced mind. So it's going to take a downturn. So drink some water. If that helps, it helps. If it doesn't, try something else. So the third step, and one of the more important steps or tips that I can give you, is to talk about it. With me, it's a known that I'm depressed. My family knows, my friends know, and it's helped a lot that I can simply say I'm having a day where my depression is kicking my ass. And I can actually talk out and say things like, my energy levels have plummeted, or I'm getting down on myself about this, or I just don't think that I'm doing well enough, and it just keeps coming down and down and down. And quite often, people will listen, and rather than offer you advice that's just going to irritate you, friends and family can help to brighten your day. So talking and actually fleshing out the things that you are feeling and the things that are causing problems for you right now, it can actually help a lot. So just keep in mind, it can be a little thing. It can be you just want to talk about, I'm feeling irritated right now, or I'm feeling down right now. Can you maybe just have them tell you a story or an encouraging thing, or just let them listen, and sometimes just having somebody there willing to listen to you will make you feel better and can bring you out of that down phase. Okay, so the next tip, which kind of goes into talking can be this, but it has like a wider world, is to distract yourself. Often when you go into a depressive downturn, you get caught in the cycle of it, and you get caught in the thoughts that tell you this is the way it has to be. When you distract yourself by doing something pleasant, you're taking yourself out of the cycle that constantly tells you this is how it is. It's just going to be this bad. So when you do things like playing video games that you like, or cooking, or reading, drawing, anything that makes, that's my list, anything that makes you enjoy yourself, it'll start to swing you out of that depressive phase. It will give you an opportunity to change your mind. Coming from distraction into my next tip, which is also a distraction, but can have more than one benefit, is to move your body. Do some exercise. It doesn't have to be a lot. It can be a matter of like 4 jumping jacks. It could be a matter of, you know, putting some books in a backpack and lifting it a few times. It could be a matter of going for a walk. The physical changes in your body when you exercise definitely influence the way you think. The general movement can bring you out of a depressive phase. For me, for instance, one of the things that I love to do is, like, I'll go onto YouTube and find some of my favorite exercise gurus, like Blogilates. And, you know, you've seen the shape that I'm in. I'm not in great shape, but I'll still do some of their exercise routines because it gets my body moving and it gives me something to watch to distract myself. So it's kind of a 2-for-1 deal. And if I need more, I can always go to the gym. I belong to a climbing gym. I love bouldering. Despite the fact that I am terrified of heights, I still love bouldering. And that not only brings me out of my depressive phase, but it actually gets me really excited. I'll watch bouldering videos, and those will get me out of my depressive phase. So find something physical to do, and that will go a long way towards bringing you back into like happier moments. Okay, so the next thing is food. And this is also part of distraction, but it's kind of a trap. The thing about food is a lot of people who are depressed tend to stress eat. They'll eat like over and over again, trying to fill this void that the depression is causing, and that doesn't work. It's very harmful. But there's a flip side to that. If you take genuine pleasure in the taste of particular foods, that pleasure can be a distraction for you. It can be the thing that brings you out of the depressive phase because you are genuinely enjoying yourself. And even preparing the food, if you like cooking, that can be fun. That can bring you out of the depressive phase because you are accomplishing something, you are creating something, and at the end you're rewarded with a taste that you enjoy. That can bring you out of it. That is probably one of the biggest rewards and simplest rewards that you can come up with for your depression. Just be careful that you're not stress eating, that you're not eating to fill the void or to cure the boredom or to even like sabotage yourself. Try to make something healthy, try to make something good. Stay away from cakes or sweets except in very small amounts. The sugar crash can actually bring you back into the depression, trust me. But there are other things, making like a small amount of pasta or making some snacks out of like avocado or something like that. I can show you some recipes in other videos. I plan to do that for diabetics anyway. That can actually really help you to get out of a depressive phase. And if you get into the habit of creating healthier snacks that taste wonderful, you'll just, it not only will bring you out of your depressive phase, but it can help you lose weight, it can help you boost your metabolism, it can help you with all kinds of physical things that might be causing the depression. So that's definitely a thing to give a chance. So the last tip that I can give you is if none of this works, if none of your regular coping methods work, and if the depression is too much, which it can be a lot of the time, take a day. Seriously, just give yourself a day to get through the depressive phase. don't work. Don't give yourself priorities. You are the priority. Sleep, take a shower, read a book, listen to music, watch videos, whatever you need to do. Help yourself relax so that you can just get through the day of being sick, because that is exactly what it is. Depression as a mental illness is not something that should be ignored or cast aside because it's mental. It's still an illness, and you still need to take care of it. You need to have some self-care to get through the worst of it. It's the way I think of it is it's like a cold. Some days when you have a cold, it can't be that bad. Like it's a mild thing, it's congestive, it's annoying, but you can still function. You can still get some things done. Other days when you have a cold that gets a little bit worse, you're kind of sluggish. You don't trust yourself to do certain things like, I don't know, drive. So you don't. I mean, you that's potentially dangerous, so you don't do it. Everybody knows that it's unhealthy to push that, and it'll just make things worse in the long run. The days when you have just the most horrible head cold, you can't breathe, you can't really talk, you're super congested, you've got a throbbing headache, you can barely think, you stay home and you just be sick. You make some chicken noodle soup, drink some Sprite, take a nap, and that's your day. And you call in sick to work because you have to take care of yourself. You have to get through the illness before you can function again. With mental illness, it's the same thing. Sometimes you have days where it just gets so bad that you need to take a self-care day, and you should. So give yourself time, give yourself a break. Don't harangue yourself because you're taking a day. That's what it's there for. Self-care, in the long run, makes you more functional. It makes you get more shit done because you took the time to fix the problem. You took the time to let yourself be sick and get better. So, with all that being said, I hope some of these tips were useful. I'm not a professional. These are just things that I've learned from my own depression. I'm hoping that I will get some more videos done for the channel. Tell me in the comments below if you want me to do more transgender documentation, or more mental illness, or more general wellness and physical health, things like diabetes, recipes, cooking, climbing, whatever. I plan to get to all of it eventually, but let me know what your priority is so I can kind of pick and choose as I go. So I'm going to try to get back on some kind of schedule, but like I said, the depression kicks my ass and I can't always predict it. We'll just see how this goes. Like this video, subscribe if you can. Click on the notifications because apparently that's a thing that needs to be done now if anybody has any expectation of knowing what's going on with the channels. And I will see you next time. Bye.